Final collection video that I will film today. Don't know what order I'm uploading them in. Don't know what order I'm putting the numbers in. All the ones that have this moose munch lid are the ones I did today. Here is, I've started the last few with just a tiny little curvy butterfly stitch. This one is slightly different because it has a little square stitch at the top. If you have small enough fingers, it can be a little ring for you. Nice little boondoggle ring. And then here's just a little cobra stitch. That's what cobra stitches look like, in case you were wondering. What should I do next? This guy is a fluted columns stitch. And then, it's got a lot of clear on it, so it's kind of hard to see what it's doing, but it splits into 4 triangles. Oh my gosh, stop focusing on the back thing. Still focusing on the back thing. Don't know any cell phone camera tricks. Fluted columns is going into 4 triangles, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, here, this one's cool. This is one of my only glow-in-the-dark string projects, so I started with the glow-in-the-dark square because I was planning on doing something else with this project, and then for whatever reason I just changed it to this. Also, glow-in-the-dark string is very strong, so you can just put a single, whatever you want to call it, right through just one single loop, and it will hold nice and well. If you were tugging it on a backpack anyway, did this kind of quad with different colors and different formations, and then if you have the colors in your quad stitch arranged just like that, and then you go to a tornado stitch, if you look, the colors are actually twisting the opposite direction that the tornado is, if that makes sense. The colors twisting one way and the tornado is twisting the other way. And then I did that over and over with the tornadoes twisting in opposite directions each time. Okay, this one is like literally a failure in every way. You cannot tell at all, but it was supposed to be a heart. It was for about 2 days, and then it gave up on life, and I learned to not do hearts with twisted stitches. Yeah. Here's this, made before I was very consistent with stitch sizes and making things like look pretty. I just kind of pulled it tight and called it good. Starts with a 3x3 or non, then switches back and forth between that and fluted columns because those are the same number of stitches and are relatively easy to switch back and forth between, and it looks cool, so I like this boondoggle. Okay, this guy, I can't remember what video it was I got the inspiration from, but if you do the math, a 5x1 stitch cannot evenly split into 2 square stitches. And no, I did not cut or add and remove strands in the middle of the boondoggle on this particular project. Instead, there's actually strings running through the square stitches on all of the square stitches in this. So yeah, pretty tricky, huh? It looks like the gap there is bigger than the gap you get on most boondoggle projects. This one it's so gappy. It's like the store called Gap. This one starts with a 3x3 twisted, then goes into a 2x2 twisted with a lot of strands wrapped around it. That 2x2 twisted, at the time I made this one, I wasn't super experienced. At the time it was really complicated keeping track of all those different colors, so I don't know, be confident with colors before you attempt something like this. Then I just did a random number of stitches and started over, and I was like, oh look, now all of the wraparound stitches are blue, how nice. And I did as this, yeah. Second to last is this. This is the only actual Scooby tunnel I've ever done. Starts with Scooby tunnel, twists back and then forth a little bit, and then little bit of straight Scooby tunnel, and then back and forth more. And then at the time I was a pretty new boondoggler. I feel like I'm saying that with all of these. What here did I do when I was more experienced? This. Anyway, I was a new boondoggler. I had enough string to do a full-length Scooby tunnel, but I was sick and tired of all those strings, so I just left it at this. Looks like a little pot or something. Finally, we have this, and those are distracting. We have this rocket ship. Starts with a square, goes to a quad, goes to a non, and then goes to a pretty long twisted non, and then it splits into 4 twisted triangles, which looks like it's not really enough strings, but the math on that does work, and then goes connects back into another twisted non. And yeah, bringing the 4 twisted triangles back together into the twisted non was pretty difficult. The end. This is the video, and that's the end of the video. The end. Bam! Accomplished. Look at all the boondoggle videos I filmed today.